Hey guys, it's your boy Tacho here, back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and Iago's Grand Hero Battle has dropped today. So we're gonna go ahead and play this one on Infernal. We're gonna beat the map with a pretty easy team that anyone can obtain, as you see up top there. And then after that, we're just gonna go ahead and take a look at his builds, and we're gonna take a look at some possible setups you may want to use Iago on. So let's just get started here. Okay. Impudent fools, do you really think a crew of miscreants like you stands the shadow of a chance against me? Alright, I don't really know too much about Iago. He sounds like Izuka from Radiant Dawn, if you know who that guy is. He did a bunch of experiments, of course, on the Lagoos in that game, so Izuka really sucks, but, I mean, whatever. Okay, so we're just gonna have Veronica attack this axe dude and get the debuffs. Veronica, I'm pretty sure most people in CYL2 chose her as their freebie. So we're using Veronica, of course. Nino, most people have either plus 10 their Nino, or most people can just use a quick Nino. This Nino doesn't even have a single merge on her, so I'm sure most people aren't going to mind that. And we're going to go for the one shot on this Axe Fighter. Or, not the Axe Fighter. We already beat the Axe Fighter. This is the Bow Fighter now. Okay, and now we're just gonna have Altina bait both of those guys. Altina's real good, she can get it done. My Altina does have one merge on her, but not the biggest deal. Okay, so this cleric here is gonna hit my Nino. Not a big deal though, Nino can attack them back. So we're okay on that front. And this scary looking blue cavalier attacking my Altina, but I mean, Altina's so powerful, it doesn't even matter. And we can get the finish there. And then here comes this sword dude, and he's no problem either. We have, of course, the Vantage Brave attack with Altina. Altina is so good. I love using Altina. And I'm so glad that she won the Hero Rises event. All of you Altina deniers can just get out of my way. Altina rocks. Like, come on, man. She's one of my favorite characters, and she was one of the most surprise units added to the game for me. Like, I know that was the case with Bramimon for a lot of people, but for me, I just wasn't expecting Altina to get added. Not only do I actually like her, even though she's in one cutscene, that cutscene is so rad, so, like, I just always dreamed I would be able to use Altina one day. And, of course, dual-wielding the Ragnall Alondite combo is pretty awesome. So, Altina rocks, and I'm glad everyone got her for free. Okay, and here comes the big bad Iago. He is the boss on the map, and he does have a blazing special, but who cares, because look how strong Altina is. We can just rock him in the face like nothing. Alright, so much for that dude. Okay, now all we've got left are these guys over here. Let's see. Okay, we can have Nino get the attack on this bow dude. And of course we're going to go for that. We have Desperation active because we're on low HP. And we can quickly get the dance on her with Peony. And then go for the finish on the blue flyer. And there is that one final green cavalier on the corner there that we're just going to body with Altina. And you know, I mean, just for fun, let's heal off all of Nino's damage. Or at least some of it, because she has been doing her best. So let's not get out of this map with her all beaten up and bruised. Let's apply some first aid to Nino. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for the map, and you will be able to win 3 copies of Iago here. So now let's move over to his builds, and let's take a look at some ways you may want to run this guy. Okay, so Iago, let's talk about this guy. His weapon, Iago's Tome, is going to give him Res Up 3. And then from that point on, at the start of odd-numbered turns, any foes that are not adjacent to each other are going to receive the guard effect and -4 attack and speed, while at the start of every even-numbered turns, every foes that are adjacent are going to receive defense and res -4, and they're going to get hit by the panic effect. So Iago does want to have high HP because the requirement for him to get those effect offs needs him to be 3 HP points higher than the foes. So he's basically a different take on Aversa Of course, Aversa's Tome did pretty much the same thing, except it's only on adjacent foes that Aversa is able to do it, while Iago is capable of debuffing foes that are not even adjacent. So that does give him a little bit of an edge, and one leg up over on Aversa. But the bad thing is that they kind of swapped the effects in where you would want them to be. Like on the odd number turns, that's turn 1, and for you, all of the opponents are going to be adjacent on that turn. So you would have preferred that on the start of odd numbered turns, his Tome would just get the panic effect and affect all of the adjacent allies, as opposed to the ones that are not adjacent. But pretty much after turn 1, or in the event that you're going second, like let's say you have this guy in an AR defense setup, he's definitely going to shine there, and his Tome effects are going to really start to take care of business at that point. He also has a massive 38 base attack, so he's really powerful and he can deal some crazy damage with a single hit. He comes with Blazing Wind as the special. He's got HP and attack too, which is, I mean, perfectly fine in him on particular. Normally you wouldn't want to run these split stat skills because they're not really too efficient. But for this guy who just wants to pump his HP as high as possible, that's not bad. And the prize that he comes with is Attack Opening 3, a very good fodder skill for all your support units pretty much. And if you don't care about Iago, then feel free to sacrifice all of your copies to other units who want Attack Opening. So that pretty much covers us for the base kit. He doesn't have any IVs, so we can go ahead and move on to the budget build. Okay, so of course you're going to want to keep Iago's Tome. That is the real reason you're going to want to use him, like in the case of Aversa. We're going to go with Reposition as the assist. We've got Moonbow as his special attack, so he can hit harder and he can activate that at a reasonable amount of time. We're stacking HP and attack 2 twice with the A slot and the Sacred Seal slot. So he's going to gain 8 HP and then he's going to gain 4 attack. Feel free to run HP plus 5 in both the A and the Seal slot instead if you would prefer to just get the extra bit of HP so it's easier for him to use his Tome effect. We're going to go with Defense and Reslink as the B skill so he can support the team with Reposition and buff the defenses of your allies. I do feel like this guy falls into a more supporty type of role. He can fight because his attack stat is insane, but other than that, you just really want him for the Tome effect, and having Reposition and being able to buff your allies with Attack Opening as well as Defense and Reslink is going to be real nice. So for tanky type units that don't care about speed, this is a pretty decent budget build, and he can supply some nice stat bonuses while debuffing foes. So a pretty cool budget build. But of course you could tailor make him a little bit more offensively if you want, because his attack stat is so high. Things like Death Blow in the Seal and the A slot would work quite well. And he can work on Infantry Pulse setups as well because he's an infantry class. It's going to be harder to gain the Infantry Pulse effect on him though, because you do want to have him on high HP for his weapon effect. So giving him the special cooldown count isn't going to be too useful, but you can use him as an Infantry Pulse option to lower the cooldown counts of your other allies, so that is an option. And that's pretty much it for the budget build. So moving on to the high investment build now, I thought it would be necessary for us to really showcase this guy like the monster that he has the potential to be. So we've gone ahead and done plus 10 merges and plus 5 flowers. For all of you Iago fanboys and fangirls out there, you're probably going to want to see what this man is capable of at maximum conditions. We also have this S-rank summoner support here, so he has a Titanic 63 HP stat with full investment. We also have red dual infantry and HP up 5 as the Seal and the A skill. So that's just going to give him 10 more HP, and at this point it's kind of overkill, to be honest. Like, you don't really need to raise his HP by that much, but I do think the dual infantry skill is going to be awesome on him. If you are going to go high investment on this guy and you don't mind giving him some expensive stuff, red dual infantry is going to unlock the path for arena modes for you, so he can score a lot higher. And you can slap him on an arena team or an allegiance battle team or Mjolnir strike team and so on, and you will be able to have him support for you in those higher scoring modes. So that's what I've done with Aversa. I gave her the red flying dual skill so we can have access to Aversa's Knight in arena modes, and it's real helpful there. We've got Lull, attack and res in the B slot, so he can debuff the foe's attack and res and prevent them from having any active blue buffs when you attack them. So a very nice B skill, and it combos nicely with his high attack and high res stats. So he's going to be capable of dishing out a ton of damage in a single hit. We also have Ruptured Sky as his special attack. It's pretty much Moonbow, but it may do a little bit of more damage when you're attacking dragon-type foes. Glimmer could also be an option, to be honest, because he has that crazy high base attack, and Glimmer is going to scale off of his own attack for some nice damage if Ruptured Sky wouldn't be giving you quite as much. And like I said on the budget build, Infantry Pulse is an option. I mean, it's kind of a budget option because you can get it from Marissa, who's in the Grail shop. But I've bought so many copies of Marissa that she costs 500 Grails for me now, and I mean, at that point, is it really low investment? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. But Infantry Pulse, for all the reasons we talked about earlier, is great on him. Of course, if you don't want to build him this way, you can give him stuff like Death Blow. You could even give him Sturdy Impact and just focus more primarily on the damage as opposed to the support with his weapon. And like I mentioned earlier, 63 HP is just really overkill, so if we want to count blessings into the mix as well, there's really just no reason for him to have that high HP, even though his weapon effect needs it. I would say maybe around like 58 is probably the benchmark you want to shoot for, because most of your opponents are going to have 55 HP and less, even the armored types for the most part. So just be wary of that and plan accordingly when you're building your Iago. You don't want to have a surplus on HP, but then you don't want it to be too low either, so his weapon will work on most opponents. And just be creative with the blessings you give him. He's definitely going to appreciate any blessing that gives attack bonuses. So Altina, for example, could be nice to give him the Astra Blessing. And that's pretty much going to wrap us up for today, guys. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the run on Infernal mode. I tried to temper expectations there and use a more free-to-play friendly team. And hope you enjoyed the builds and discussion about Iago. He is a pretty cool Grand Hero Battle prize, and whether you want to use him or fodder him, none of those choices are going to be bad moves. So, a very good free unit here, and that's pretty much it for today. So, as always, this is your boy Tacho signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys again in the next one.